Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We have an important update in the Fuck, I keep saying the name. Why am I? It's Harmony, Vito. It's all your fault. Why are you here?
You say
Jesus,
Hannah
no, I'm kidding.
Montana?
3, 2. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. After so many errors on my part and after us talking about Star Wars hotels, I'm here with Vito. Vito, we have an important part I want to talk about in this stream, okay? So let me break it down. We're going to get a little bit more serious here because I don't think you're familiar with this story, and this story is wild. We have a new update on this case about Harmony Montgomery. Harmony, Vito, I imagine you haven't heard this story yet, correct? Let me fill you in.
I've seen you covering it, but I haven't dug into it myself.
So this little girl was 5 years old, okay? She's been missing for 2 years and nothing. And now suddenly a letter finally got to the mayor because no one was doing anything because the parents had been fighting. They're addicts. They've been having their own struggle losing custody. This child got lost sort of in the system between Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and literally just no one was paying attention and has been missing for 2 years. And now suddenly everyone's like, what? Where's this child? Where did she go? And we're trying to figure it out. She's now 7. She was last seen in Manchester, New Hampshire in October 2019. I think the reward is already over $40-something thousand. It's going up a lot. But if you have any tips on this case, you can call 603-203-6060. Now, yesterday we broke down this case. We gave you all the information. I'll make sure I put the update when this gets done up the top left. You can go watch the True Crime 101 where we give you all of the update on this. But Vito, what's so crazy about this case is the fact that it took 2 years for us to even find out where was the school. How did the school districts not where's this girl go?
Right.
The child welfare agencies, none of them were paying attention. They sort of just were like, she's with her father. Meanwhile, her father checked into a substance abuse home, a sober living home, with the new mom, or I guess his girlfriend and their kids.
Right.
And then the landlord of said place was like, I never saw this Harmony girl. I don't know what you're talking about. We have security footage. I never saw her come in or out. This is just a tragic, heartbreaking story. And so the father, who has had custody, was granted custody, Adam Montgomery here, he was arrested. He's now arrested and in custody. And now the latest update is the stepmom, the wife of Harmony's father, was now arrested today, was arraigned for welfare fraud, despite allegedly not having seen the child since 2019. So
my God.
Didn't have the child, and I guess they were just cashing in.
But they were collecting
the benefits.
child benefits from the state.
Dude. Yeah. Vito, this happens so damn much. So many parents and people just try to shrug off kids on certain relatives, and then their parents are watching said kids, but then they still want the benefits at the end of the year for the said kids. It is just I've heard horror stories. It is such a sad world we live in, where parents are more obsessed with collecting the year-end benefits of the dependents than actually being there for their children that depend on them or their other family members that have been taken care of. It is such a scary world we live in where that's happening more often than I think anybody's going to admit. But so yes, here we go. The stepmom of the year has been cashing in on the benefits allegedly while this girl was missing. Now, she has declared herself not guilty at the arraignment today. But she has been charged in connection with the ongoing saga to find the 7-year-old girl who was last seen in New Hampshire, 2019. Kayla Montgomery was arrested Wednesday on one count of welfare fraud after allegedly continuing to collect food stamp benefits for Harmony. The New Hampshire Attorney General's office said that between December 2019 and June 2021, Montgomery obtained more than $1,500 in food stamp benefits on Harmony's behalf, even though the child was no longer living with her and her husband, Adam. We're going to keep going, but that's so despicable. That is so despicable. It's
and again, we have no idea where this child is, and they're collecting money.
To collect money, for all tax-paying money, food stamp money, for so many single moms and families and single dads, families who need this stuff, and these parents are not even aware of where their child is, but they're making sure to fill out the benefits for the food stamps.
Right.
Their priority is filling out those charts, Vito, but not getting their kid to school or making sure the kid's okay and eating a good meal. This is just so awful. So this is small in the scope of things, but still, thank God they caught this because enough to sort of take them away to be like, you're done, caught.
Well, I'm surprised they can't get them on. You're responsible for your child. I'm surprised there's no law that says Why is your child not in your custody? We're going to lock you up until you tell us where the heck they are, what happened to them.
Good question. I mean, that's where
crazy.
That's what we're currently waiting for, because everyone's just like, how did this happen for so long? Like, how did no one? But then, as we talked about sadly yesterday in our live show, and then the longer show for the replay, for those of you who want to catch it, we had some call-ins who were educating us on like the system, and it just sadly, the system is not there to protect children. It's a really scary place. And I went on a whole rant, Vito. It frustrates me to no end for all the people who are pro-life, who are never there for the child as they grow up and actually need them. We never actually protect our children, and it makes me infuriated. Where's the energy now? My God, some parents shouldn't have kids is the sad reality. And clearly, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hide my feelings. These people should not have had this kid. And so what's so sad is so great, the kid's there, but no one protected this kid. Even the agencies that are there to protect this kid couldn't even like put it up for adoption safely. Her own brother, was it her stepbrother, was adopted by a reporter who was trying desperately to reconnect with Harmony and actually adopt Harmony as well, because they wanted to keep the family together. And the officer's like, nope, sorry, she's with her biological father. Like, it's sickening. It is sickening what we're doing. And we're not focusing on this shit. No. Instead, we're doing a bunch of crazy political stuff and religious stuff, but we can't actually all unite, throw the politics away and be like, why are we not protecting our children now? I don't get it. I don't know who's against that. It makes no sense, Vito. I'm going crazy. Go ahead. What do you got to say?
Well, I mean, it just is. We have these systems that are supposedly set up to protect children. And it's a tragedy how easy it is for kids to fall through the cracks. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. Obviously, I guess our system is just overwhelmed and probably underfunded. You know, people aren't getting the right training to go. Has anyone seen this kid? Have we checked in to make sure the kid is there? I mean, there's just not enough checks and balances in the system. Well, and obviously people find ways to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and on top of it, you're spot on, but they're using the pandemic as excuses for everything, which is probably valid, right? I'm sure some valid reasons why that's slowed things down and made things harder. But now it's like everybody can get away with it, and these agencies.
But shouldn't this child have been in school at that age? Like
These are the questions that we need to figure out. The system failed. We need to figure out why. But will the system actually be held accountable? Probably not, is what's so sad about these cases. But continuing this update, just so you guys have the latest. During a Thursday bond hearing, Montgomery pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors argued for $5,000 bail, calling her a flight risk, while her defense team said she doesn't have the funds to secure that bond. The judge said he would rule on the amount later. So I'm confused. Does the judge want her to be able to get the bail? I don't even understand.
Well, I think it's a matter of I think just based on the charges,
this is yet another example. I've been covering this stuff enough, and thank God I have, because I really am now becoming an expert in these cases, which I'm grateful I am, and thanks to this audience for helping to discover. But Vito, I can attest, you don't let these people go. We have numerous cases that we've been reporting now for months. Letting them go becomes the laundry situation where we waste even more taxpayer monies, because clearly these parents are not good parents. They're going to try and get off on this, and we should be keeping an eye on them, no doubt. So to give her a slower bail amount so she could potentially cash out and run away would be so awful.
Well, it's tough. I mean, who do you keep in and who do you let go? Unfortunately, we don't have the space for everybody. But yeah, I guess in the case of a missing child, you'd want to.
Yeah, in this case, like, let's not even keep it, just the bail. Make the bail higher. That's a whole separate. Let's not get into the arguments of bail, because it's like, who can really afford the bail? Always the rich get it. You know, the not rich can't. It's a whole separate issue. But anyway, regardless, let's keep this woman tracked, because something's up here. Adam was booked Tuesday evening on an array of charges. Did I get this? Oh, so just to be clear, sorry. While we're waiting on the amount of bond, Montgomery is not the biological mother of Harmony. We've reported on her. She's out there saying she's been trying for a year. For both years to try and get the county to step up and find Harmony, but she's been ignored every step of the way. It wasn't until she wrote a letter to the mayor that got forwarded to the police department that they finally stepped up and they're like, what's going on? That's according to the mother, who also lost custody due to her own substance abuse issues. I don't want to judge them for the past. People can change and work on themselves. We have a lot of viewers here who have managed to get through addiction. It's a real issue and problem, but she didn't have control of the kids. So the reality is, it wasn't her call at that point. And she says she had been trying to check in, and the father wouldn't allow her to be nearby. So it's unclear. It's a lot of he said, she said, but that's what we have so far, what we're hearing. So Montgomery was, Kayla was not the biological mom. Charges against the Manchester, New Hampshire resident are just the latest against the adults closest to the child, who was last seen October 29th. Adam, who was booked Tuesday on an array of charges, including felony second degree in connection with 2019 conduct against Harmony. He was also charged with a 1 misdemeanor charge of interference with custody and 2 misdemeanor charges of endangering the welfare of a child, all connected to Harmony. In an arrest affidavit, investigators outlined a series of disturbing allegations against Adam, claiming he admitted to his uncle that he gave her a black eye just months after Child Protective Services granted him custody. I bashed her around the house, allegedly. Adam allegedly told his uncle, Kevin, after stating he left his daughter in charge of watching her infant brother while Adam was in the bathroom. He later found the infant crying. I mean, it's a heartbreaking story here. In fact, I think here's the uncle speaking.
Precious. So much love to give. She just wanted to feel secure.
Were you concerned about your niece's well-being?
I was. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not, no details. DSS failed my niece. We loved her. A lot of us that loved her didn't have rights. We didn't have rights to make the parental decisions.
So Kevin, this great uncle, has been out there a lot. People are giving him crap because he has a passive substance abuse as well. But he's the one who really got.
I think people don't need to come to terms with the fact that a lot of people in America have a history of substance abuse.
Correct.
It's kind of a common thing these days.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to you. You can get your thoughts, but it's just exactly like there's so frustrating when you report these stories because it's like, oh, well, they're a drug addict, so I can't take anything seriously. It's like, well, are they on now? Are they in recovery? Like, people who do bad and are addicts can still do good and help, but in this case,
you can still be worried about the welfare of a child, of course.
Correct. So that's what we have here in the latest. So we're Kevin has given a lot more information about the past here, but today's deal, shortly after Kayla's conversation with authorities, a missing chart. So here it was. Authorities said Kayla was granted an extra $129 a month for Harmony, which she continued to receive for 19 months before ultimately reverting the account to remove her stepdaughter. She's 4 years old and permanently blind in one eye. She was born like that, Kyla wrote in an attempt to add Harmony to her account, which included 3 children she shared with Adams. Oh my God, wait, so I didn't even realize this. On a New Year's Eve conversation, Kyla said the last time she physically saw Harmony was December 2019, before heading into work. At that time, Adam allegedly told his wife he was driving Harmony back to Crystal, who was living in Massachusetts. Kayla claimed, this is the stepmom, she never saw or heard about Harmony after that day. Affidavit states noting that she had not seen her husband since October 2021. Kayla admitted that she had seen Harmony with a black eye in the past. However, she explained that Adam told her it was caused by one of the other children striking with a toy. In an arrest affidavit obtained by Daily Beast, authorities say that even though Kayla believed Harmony had been at her mother's house since 2019, she continued to obtain and spend food stamp benefits intended for the child. Authorities say that she first added Harmony to the account in February 2019 when her husband was granted full custody of the child, saying that she was blind and wanted more to add to the account. She was granted that extra $129 a month, which she received for 19 months. And as admitted, she didn't have the child, but took that for 19 months. Yeah. Shortly after Kayla's December 31st conversation with authorities, a missing child alert was issued and police launched the investigation to find the girl. Yikes. In the days since opening the case, police have searched the home Montgomery once lived, touted a 24-hour tip line, acquired assistance from the FBI, and announced a $43,000 reward for information for her whereabouts. It'll still be investigated as a missing persons case. I'm in rescue mode right now. This is not a recovery. So this case is sweeping the nation, and this is just such a tragic case when you see this beautiful girl, how the system failed her, how these parents failed her. This woman is deplorable. I'm sorry. Why were you still cashing in benefits? You didn't know where she's at. You could have easily not been involved and said, look, she wasn't here. I didn't know what was going on. And maybe she was innocent in that. But the fact that she was doing this only adds more question to it all. And the father clearly, the father's saying, oh, the mother had it. The mother's like, no, the father had her. it's a terrifying thing of how did the system not notice that neither of these people should have had control, Vito? What do you think?
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I don't want to assume the worst. I really hope that someone ponder off on some family member who's staying silent and doesn't want to get involved. I just don't know why are you concerned with getting more benefits from the state at this point? You don't know where your kid is and you want to make sure you get an extra amount in child or whatever it is, food stamps. It's just a bizarre, tragic story. I'm hoping against hope that nothing happened to this poor girl, but I mean, we've seen so many of these stories go the wrong way, and I really hope that's not the case here. Tragedy.
Yeah, me as well. It's a tragic indeed. You guys can learn more in our first video if you want to get the full rundown, and if you guys know anything about it, or if anybody's been Googling this and stumbles upon our video, and you know information about this case, please call or text this number 603-203-6060. It's crazy, Vito. You never know who's watching these videos. You know what I mean? Like these keywords and things
true.
are going.
You could find somebody who knows something and
so
could help it out.
Please, get out there the word if you can. Help, share, spread this news out there. Spread the information and her photo because it's just a heartbreaking story. Hopefully she got handed off somewhere else and just hasn't been, written in somewhere yet. One can hope that she'll be safe and sound and found eventually. But heart goes out to everybody in her family looking. And there you go for the quick update. If you want to make sure you get more stories like this and so much more breaking news, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, and leave a comment down below when you can to help the engagement of this video. And like I said, share, get the word out on these cases. It's so imperative we do it. Also, support my man Vito. You can just YouTube search Vito or Vito2 to hear his entertainment coverage and
for a little lighthearted story.
It's incredibly important reporting. It's really fun.
I'm not saving lives,
reporting.
sadly.
No, he's a good dude. Go support his channels. Go have a laugh. And thank you for being here, Vito. We're not done, though. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We got so much more to report on. In fact, what is Jon Stewart mad about with Harry Potter goblins? I want to get Vito's thoughts. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere.